Hi, I'm your host, Montel Williams. And on today's show, we are bringing you 4 amazing stories about veterans and active duty military individuals who have felt engaged and supported by companies that recognize their skills and discipline to succeed in their communities. Our first story focuses on the efforts made by a well-known food chain to find currently serving and ex-military personnel and recruit them for their workforce. We'll meet 2 service members who, after serving their country, found a helping hand in transitioning into civilian life.
Welcome to Atlanta, Georgia. We're visiting one of the 1,600 Chili's restaurants around North America. Chili's Grill and Bar is a casual dining restaurant with a fun and energetic atmosphere.
I've been working for Chili's 2.5 years. Second best decision of my life, I feel. First best decision was marrying my wife.
This is an absolutely amazing place to work. As soon as you start working for Chili's and you get that culture down, you understand what it is to be a Chili head.
Chili's is a wholly-owned subsidiary of Brinker International. The company has a deep history in supporting veterans. Javier Vasquez Reyes has a history of service in the food industry.
So I grew up in Southern California. My grandmother had a taco truck. Helping her run her business kind of set me up. Now I'm able to put that towards my life.
Javier decided to drop out of school and join the military at just 17 years of age.
Shortly after basic training, we got orders to Iraq. I'd probably say definitely the most difficult part about being in Iraq was just the unknown. The unknown if your man to your left and your right is going to be okay. The unknown if you're going to come back home. The unknown if there's a bomb on the side of the road.
Transitioning to civilian life was especially hard for Javier Vasquez Reyes. Upon returning home, a family tragedy changed everything.
Shortly after getting out of the Army, my grandma was murdered. She was shot. I was hurt. I was hurting. That really hit home for me, and that put me in a dark place for a little while. Shortly after, I found Chili's, where I made Chili's my home, and I was able to persevere and overcome all those obstacles.
Like Javier, before joining Chili's, Dre Blake had a background in the food service industry as well.
I love to cook, and I was talking to this recruiter at my school one day, and he said, hey, you know, you like to cook and you want money for college, you should come into the Army. And I took him up on it. You know, I got to be able to travel the world, to cook, to get money for school, and to serve my country. I think transitioning from military life to civilian life was a huge adjustment in the beginning.
Chili's is a proud supporter of the United States Armed Forces. Through the industry-leading Certified Shift Leader program, Chili's is committed to helping veterans make the transition into civilian life.
It's the Shift Leader program is not new to our industry. We just did it with a great deal of intentionality. And we wanted to lean into our people and our culture and bring the best Chili heads forward and give them the tools and resources and show them a career path and show them how they can go from supervisor to manager to general manager.
Nowadays, Chili's hires anywhere between 275 and 350 veterans each quarter to lead and work in their restaurants.
We're specifically partnering with the National Restaurant Association and targeting these men and women before they get out of the services and finding them a place to land with us within our restaurants and hopefully as tomorrow's leaders.
Javier is currently 3 months into the CSL program. He's learning the kind of skills he needs to be a manager at Chili's.
Within these first couple months of being in this program, it's been absolutely amazing just to see the day-to-day operations, seeing how everything should be run. The logistical part of it was such a big piece that I really didn't see before.
What we're finding is that people that kind of accumulate those skills are able to transfer that to many other industries. We hope they stay with us, but they're really building the foundation of a business career.
It's an excellent program that we have to be able to help our team members fulfill their dreams and to give them an opportunity to have a great career with a great brand.
For more information, visit chilisjobs.com or militarymakeover.tv.
Welcome back. For our next story, meet assisted living facility owner and proud veteran David Karasz. David was in need of financial support when a fellow veteran and his organization answered the call. They took a chance on a vision to help fulfill the American dream and a new approach to care for the elderly.
David, we're going to start off with this letter that John wrote to you from Ready Capital. So if you could just read it out loud.
Dear David,
as a veteran myself, I've always found it hard to ask others for help. When you reached out to me directly in 2016, looking for capital to expand your business,
it was not just a job for me. It became a mission to help you and your wife fulfill the American dream.
from our first conversation, I felt a brotherhood and bond. There was no question.
I wanted to be part of the history of loving home for Mom and Dad. David, your story is an inspiration for us all. Thank you for your service to our great country. Thank you for continuing to provide hope to the hopeless.
And thank you for allowing myself and Ready Capital an opportunity to be a valued partner.
Ready Capital is the largest non-bank lender to small businesses and investors in small balance commercial properties. We're the only firm that has focused on this niche in this space since the recession.
I wrote this letter a few weeks ago to David Karasz. When David called me back in 2016 and talked to me about loving care for Mom and Dad, I thought just another assisted living facility. What David kind of described was kind of a new approach to the care of the elderly.
I had a tendency to look at a person who is disabled as perhaps someone a little bit less than a complete person. Those ideas changed when I myself was unable to walk. The rehabilitation process, of which I experienced tremendous pain, I now have become a different person, a more compassionate person, and it's helped me crystallize my next phase of life should be, and that is in trying to help some of these people who don't have a home, who are medically homeless, who suffer from many of the same things that I've experienced.
Well, our strategic view is to become the largest non-bank lender to small businesses and investors in small balance commercial properties.
Here at Ready Capital, we provide financing to small business owners, entrepreneurs, and veteran-owned businesses. David and his wife Mia just happen to fit all three of those key categories. When David called me, it was he was just trying to figure out how do I get there? How do I get from point A to point B? It's not a traditional lending process.
We said, who's going to finance on this? How are we going to go ahead and meet our goal here? How are we going to handle this? Ready Capital came to our aid. I met John Mashhad. I spoke with him and told him what we were doing, told him what we were about. They stepped up to the plate.
What was really cool is that we were able to kind of walk David through the process and kind of understand what their motivation was and where their sense of purpose was in trying to find a solution for them.
They took a chance on a new model for the retired disabled vet to go ahead and put together the financing that was critical. So word got out that these homes were here and they were so successful. Ready Capital made this possible.
Ready Capital is a growing business, and we want to help out growing businesses.
There are estimated to be over 21 million veterans living in the United States, and 142,000 of them call the great state of Nebraska their home. Supporting veterans and connecting them with good job opportunities is something that the folks at the Nebraska Department of Veterans in Lincoln take very seriously. Let's take a look at this.
The Nebraska Department of Labor and Department of Veterans Affairs actively partner with local businesses to encourage the hiring of veterans.
My name is Andrew Strasberg. I'm with the Nebraska Department of Labor. I serve with the Jobs for Veterans State Grant. I joined the Army Reserves in 2004. I wanted to be a part of my country's history. I enjoy history and wanted to be a part of going overseas in Iraq. I was in charge of keeping convoy supply lines clear with my fellow gun truckers from base to base in the highways of Iraq. We were exposed to enemy fire, roadside bombs.
David Briley is a former United States Airman who found a new home in Nebraska and a new career at BD.
My name is David Briley. I work for Beckman Dickinson in Columbus, Nebraska. I'm a senior staff quality engineer. BD is one of the world's largest medical device manufacturing companies. I've served in the United States Air Force from 1987 to 1990. I was a senior airman. My role in the Air Force was explosive ordnance disposal technician. For Secret Service support, I would go to a site before the president or anybody would arrive. I'd sweep the area and render it safe. So I had the honor of meeting Ronald Reagan, sweeping his office. He came in and I had a chance to meet him. And then George H.W. Bush, I met him at a hotel just briefly, but I had an opportunity to meet them, and it was a great honor.
No one understands better than Andrew Strasberg the challenges that many veterans face. He plays a vital role in transitioning our nation's heroes back into civilian life.
So I came home in 2010 and tried to get back into school. I tried to get back into work. For my own reasons, you know, anxiety and stress, you just deal with them like any veteran does, just kind of dealing with it on your own. When I first came on this job, it was a little intense, to say the least, you know, trying to help people that are already coming in crisis mode, and they come into my office, they're already homeless or they're about to lose their apartment, and they're just destitute. They can't even afford food on their table a lot of times. And I just like to tell them, you know, you're not alone. You got people that are wanting to help you, legitimately wanting to help you. I was in a very similar situation, and this is what I did to get out of it. This is what helped me out. But we got to make sure they got somewhere to put their head, and we'll find them those jobs. We make referrals. In a lot of cases, we can get them an interview the next day or the next week.
Together, David and Andrew discuss some of the options available for veterans looking to find a new life in Nebraska.
Tell me about what the Department of Labor could do for veterans that may have a little bit of a struggle from the transition from military to civilian role.
You know, in my office, we can help with employment resources, you know, resume, how to job search, how to answer interview questions that you may not know how to explain to a civilian employer. But on the other side of that, the whole other thing, like if you're already low income, you're already near homeless, you're already having trouble with disability or anxiety or what have you, there's agencies out there that can help.
David and Andrew take some time to appreciate all that Nebraska has to offer.
Tell me about Nebraska. What would bring people out to Nebraska?
A lot of different terrain if they're interested in the outdoors life. You know, I'd like to do some camping, hunting, and fishing. Got the sand hills and different wooded areas. Yeah, any particular draws that got you to come back here?
Yeah, so from the Southwest, basically we just had 2 seasons, hot and really hot. For me, it was nice to have 4 seasons. Of course, you got the cities of Omaha and Lincoln to explore.
We're thrilled to announce, alongside Governor Ricketts, an investment BD's making across the state of Nebraska that's going to bring in 300 jobs.
Every day when I go to work, I see the product on the floor. I see the product being packaged and shipped to our customer. I know our product will have a positive impact on people's lives.
We're going to be partnering with the Department of Labor and the Department of Veteran Affairs to fill roughly 300 jobs throughout the state of Nebraska with a strong emphasis on the veteran community.
I've had people that are homeless veterans come to Nebraska, and they say they found us online because of our record low unemployment and record low veteran homelessness is almost non-existent in this part of the country. You're not so much a number. You're not just such a sea of humanity. You know, there's fewer people here, so you matter more a little bit.
Our next story is about a family-run company that's made it its mission to help veterans ease back into civilian life. As a leader in the fields of machine tools and laser technology, they make it a point to recruit qualified engineers, data analysts, and technicians, and you guessed it, from our armed forces.
A leader of manufacturing solutions in the fields of machine tools, laser technology, and electronics is looking for a few good men and women. There's no greater supplier of qualified scientists, engineers, technicians, and project managers than the United States Armed Forces. That's why companies like Trump USA have made it their mission to help veterans transition from the service to civilian life.
My name is Burke Dorr. I'm the Senior Vice President for Trump here in the United States. Trump's been here in the United States for 49 years, and we are a family company. We provide tools. In our case, our tools are machine tools, stationary machines, and the laser. The laser is a tool that our customers need, but it produces a product that needs a good tool to make that product more efficient, more productive, and the laser is the secret to their success. We're looking to get the very best and brightest to come to work for Trump. One obvious place to recruit from is the United States military. Karl's a great example of the type of person we really embrace here at Trump.
My name is Karl Micek. I'm a manager for Trump, responsible for the automation and true laser tube services based out of Farmington, Connecticut. But I joined the Marines shortly after I got out of high school. My father was in the Marines, as well as his father before him, and something I've always wanted to do. Went to boot camp in San Diego, California, and followed up with communications radio school. I was given the opportunity to travel to Okinawa, Japan. Then went to Camp Lejeune in North Carolina, stateside. I was actually still in the Marines when I went to a job interview and I met with Trump representatives, Trump HR. I knew then that that's the company I wanted to work for. Well, the transition from the Marines to civilian life, it was different. It was very different. Every day you knew what you were going to do. On to transferring into civilian life, every day is a new day. When I started out with Trump, I was traveling all the time to a new place, several new places every week. And from the Marines, the self-confidence and the self-esteem I gained helped with that transition.
My name is Mashhad. I'm the talent management specialist here at Trump, Inc. One of Trump's great attributes is we find ways to contribute to our community, both locally and nationally. For military personnel looking to transition, I think they should immediately think of Trump Inc. We have a lot of growth opportunity for them. We take their current skill sets and we enhance them with the additional training that we offer here. It's a rewarding feeling to be able to find those individuals who have put their life on the line and now can support our company and our customers as we continue to grow as a business.
My name is Derrick Reed. I'm a training engineer here at Trump Incorporated. My main purpose is to train new customers on their machines. The True Laser 3030, the True Laser 5030. It's a 2D laser cutting machine for sheet metal fabrication. So these machines are used to cut pretty much almost everything you see in your daily life. Your washing machine, your oven, to your car. Any type of sheet metal that you see, anything that's metal is either possibly cut by a Trump laser machine, bent by a press brake, punched by a true punch machine, also welded. Everybody in my family pretty much served at one point. My father was in the Air Force, my grandfather was in the Army. Most of the family served in some capacity throughout the years. I was in the service for 20 years. A few other different tours over there, 2 years and spent almost 2 years in Iraq. So I worked on electrical equipment, communications equipment specifically, from man-packable equipment to vehicle communications equipment. I also was an instructor, so I taught at the technical school. So there's a lot of recruiting firms out there that do help veterans when they get out. So one of them had my information, and they called me and said that I would be perfect for this position, and gave me the information. I had a phone interview with the company, Trump, and then actually came and did an in-person interview. I think Trump benefits, and any company really benefits from hiring veterans, is that they know what teamwork is. They worked as a group. They always work towards a common goal. And you bring them together, they know how to take orders, they know how to follow orders, they know how to give them if they're in a management role. And they bring that our knowledge that isn't really gained anywhere else to those companies.
Coming back from deployment and integrating into civilian life is no easy feat. But it feels so good to know that there's so many organizations all around this great nation understanding that our veterans are our most valuable assets. Their mission is to help them find their way back into our communities. I'm Montel Williams, and I want to thank you for joining me on this episode of Military Makeover Operation Careers. We'll see you next time when we share more veteran stories and highlight more companies that support the brave members of our United States Armed Forces. See you then.